You want me to put that on my todger?
This one's wife. Her brand is at risk. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. For something to be at risk, it would have to exist. And I think that you could argue that this one's wife brand, as ever, doesn't really exist, given the fact that you can't buy anything. That gift boxes were sent out, but it remains the case that if you go and look on its website, there's nothing available to purchase. The spread has been criticised for being runny and lacking taste. The gerbil food has been deemed ridiculous. The teas weak, and the honey was non-existent. But nevertheless, this one's wife persists in trying to be seen as a serious business individual. And Jane Hertz, writing for the Daily Mail, explained, "This one's wife finally revealed an as-ever restock earlier this week by announcing in a newsletter that products and new surprises would be available this Friday. But according to public relations experts, her messaging has shifted dramatically." Interestingly, when it has come to her products, this one's wife has done some promotional work, which has surrounded basically sending the gift boxes and inviting the recipients to put it on social media. She has, in the last couple of days, been posting on both her personal Instagram account and the As Ever Instagram account with the puerile 3 more sleeps, 2 more sleeps, to try and heighten anticipation for whatever it is that she's going to reveal on Friday. But beyond that, there hasn't really been any formal marketing drive in relation to this brand. You'll recall that I discussed this in the past with my PR expert, who identified that it was absent and also pointed out various steps that one would ordinarily expect to be taken. There are, of course, 2 fundamental reasons why there is no substantial marketing drive in relation to this brand. First of all, it costs money, and this one's wife has not managed to secure any backer or investor, and she doesn't want to spend her own money on it, which speaks volumes, doesn't it? That if the female founder isn't interested in putting money into her product to ensure that there's a glossy promotion, that it's marketed appropriately, then it really can't be that good, can it? The second reason is linked, of course, also to her narcissism, which is that this one's wife thinks that because it's her, it'll just sell. This is demonstrative of the magical thinking of the narcissist, is demonstrative of the way that she thinks that the universe ought to revolve around her. It shows how she has ridiculous fantasies about being successful, that she believes that she's special and that success should just come to her. We're familiar with the way that she has sought to manifest success in the past, and she's at it again, where she hasn't done anything particularly fundamental with regard to the promotion of the As Ever brand. No slick marketing campaign, no advertisements, no proper interviews where she's talking about the products. For instance, having her in the kitchen as she goes through each of the products, talking about where it's been made, what it's made from, showing some uses for it, actually getting in there and rolling up your sleeves and showing off your products. But she's lazy and entitled and basically thinks that all she needs to do is say, I'm this one's wife, I've got some products, now everybody will want to buy them and an investor will come along and offer me millions. Accordingly, she hasn't bothered with any notable advertising campaign. Yes, she garners a lot of free publicity by virtue of the fact that lots of people know about her, and they also know about the brand as a concept, but she's done nothing to sell the brand in terms of making it seem actually attractive, and indeed has done little to counter the repeated criticisms that have originated in respect of this. She also hasn't helped herself with doing the hokey cokey, where 1 minute she's stepping back and the next she's rebranding. And it would appear that her message is altered again. And this could have been the case, as the Mail explains, as a consequence of the loss of 6 staff members recently. In April, off the heels of her Netflix show premiere, This One's Wife finally launched her lifestyle brand, which sold out online within half an hour. After the launch, though, the future of the brand became increasingly confusing for consumers, with This One's Wife later hinting in an interview with the Fast Company that she might never restock her spread, explaining that she was planning to step back to assess her brand. In other words, she couldn't be asked. It hadn't achieved what she wanted it to achieve, and she couldn't be bothered to put the hard work in to make it happen. But it looks like her products weren't really on a pause at all, as she's bringing them back this week, something that she announced to consumers in an email on Monday. First off, a sincere thank you for making the debut of As Ever absolutely extraordinary. We had a feeling there would be excitement, but to see everything sell out in less than an hour was an amazing surprise, the message sent out began. We're pleased to share that on June the 20th, we're going live with the products you love, plus some new delicious surprises, the email continued. More details and exact timing will be shared soon. It was noticeably short and sweet, unlike This One's Wife, who's just short, a big departure from her first As Ever email, which was paragraphs long and full of inspirational quotes and personal anecdotes, the usual flowery word salad, of course, of this narcissist. According to experts, the difference in messaging may be chalked up to her change in staffing. This One's Wife's first As Ever newsletter was poetic and intimate. It positioned the brand as an extension of her personal rituals and values, written in the voice of someone building a lifestyle, not just selling a product. Sarah Schmidt, celebrity publicist and president of PR firm Interdependence, told the Daily Mail. The latest email, by contrast, is pure transaction, short, strategic and sales focused, and that pivot is telling, Schmidt continued. The celebrity publicist explained that the audience is now witnessing a shift in This One's Wife from a founder as storyteller to founder as operator. Well, heavens above. Who would have thought it? This One's Wife pivoting again, flip-flopping from one thing to another? Well, this is a consequence of the fact that This One's Wife tries to be different things at different times, driven by her narcissism. The marketing expert continues by explaining, it suggests a brand moving from emotional origin story into operational scale. However, when key team members exit and the tone tightens, audiences can feel that. If the first email said, "Come into my garden," the second says, "Get ready to shop." Neither is wrong, but the dissonance creates questions, not just about This One's Wife's role, but about the heart and soul of the brand she shared. She noted that in today's world, consumers want an authentic connection to the brand. The most successful founders keep the heartbeat of the brand present, even in a sales cycle. For As Ever to be more than a celebrity brand, it has to hold on to the thing that made it feel different, the invitation into a lifestyle, not to just add to the cart. Well, unfortunately for This One's Wife, I don't think it ever felt different. It looked like a very pale imitation of much more successful brands. According to Ryan McCormick, co-founder and media relations specialist at Goldman McCormick Public Relations, This One's Wife could create a great opportunity to grow As Ever if she added in a few small things to her newsletters. He proposed that This One's Wife should open the newsletter by asking her readers how they're doing, or telling them that she hopes things are going well for them. The Duchess should let people know that she cares about them, foster that emotional connection, he explained. Well, unfortunately, this advice is way too late because the vast majority of people know that This One's Wife doesn't give two shits about anyone other than herself. And opening newsletters by asking people how they're doing or saying that she hopes that they are going well isn't going to turn matters around. Unfortunately for This One's Wife, this is a shitty brand with shitty products. And we see once again how she doesn't know what she's doing, that she is no business guru by virtue of the fact of the haphazard way that it was established, the ridiculous way that it has proceeded, the suggestion that she was going to stand back and assess it, and then all of a sudden, presumably because Netflix have told her off, she's going to make something available on Friday. She must have given somebody a prod to ensure that some manufactured products turn up and maybe adding something new. Undoubtedly, we will see what it is. But it isn't going to rescue as ever as a brand. It really is a clusterfuck. And to suggest that her brand is at risk, in a way, is somewhat ridiculous, because the brand has nothing to risk, because it's never become established. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.